I'm Muhammad Aiden, and today I'll be talking about climate change, causes, consequences, and solutions. Climate change is a multifaceted issue that demands our attention. It's not just a matter of rising temperatures, it's a complex phenomenon with far reaching consequences for the planet and society. This presentation delves into the scientific and social dimensions of climate change, exploring its causes, impacts, and potential solutions. We'll examine how human activities drive this phenomenon and how it affects various aspects of our lives, from economic disparities to ecological imbalances. We'll also discuss the vital role of social action and policy changes in mitigating the effects of climate change and creating a more sustainable future. What is climate change? Why does it matter? Climate change refers to the long-term shift in global temperatures and weather patterns, predominantly driven by human activities that release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, causing the Earth's average temperature to rise. This phenomenon is often referred to as global warming, though it encompasses a broader range of changes in climate pattern. Its impact: the consequences of climate change are far-reaching and potentially catastrophic. It leads to rising sea levels, extreme weather-like events like heat waves, hurricanes and drought, disruption of ecosystems, and displacement of human population. The urgency to address climate change stems from its multifaceted and irreversible impact on our planet and our way of life. What are its importance? Understanding and addressing climate change is crucial for survival and well-being of a future generation. It requires collective action, a shift in our consumption patterns, and robust policies to mitigate emissions and adapt to the changing climate. Failure to act will result in escalating environmental and social consequences, amplifying existing inequalities and hindering progress towards a sustainable life. What's driving climate change? Burning fossil fuels. The combustion of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas releases massive amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, contributing significantly to global warming. Industries like power generation, transportation, and manufacturing heavily rely on fossil fuels, exacerbating the problem. Shifting to renewable energy sources is crucial in reducing reliance on fossil fuels and mitigating climate change. Deforestation and land use changes. Forests play a vital role in absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Deforestation driven by factors like logging, agriculture, and urbanization reduces this carbon absorption capacity. Land use changes, including conversion of forests into agricultural lands, further contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. Protecting existing forests and promoting sustainable land management practices are crucial for combating climate change. Industrial agriculture. Intensive agriculture practices, including livestock production and the use of fertilizers, contribute significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. These emissions stem from methane released by livestock, nitrous oxide released by fertilizers, and deforestation for agricultural land. Shifting to more sustainable agricultural practices, such as organic farming and reliance on livestock, is essential for reducing the environmental impact of food production. Understanding climate change through sociology. Conflict theory. Conflict theory highlights the power imbalances that allows industries to prioritize profits over environmental health. It emphasizes how corporations driven by maximizing profits often lobby against environmental regulations and resist the transition to sustainable practices. This perspective underscores the need to address power dynamics and promote social justice to effectively tackle climate change. Systems theory. Systems theory emphasizes the interconnectedness of the global ecosystem and human activities. It recognizes that climate change is a complex phenomenon resulting from interactions of various systems, including the environment, human societies, and economic structures. This perspective calls for a holistic solution that addresses the interconnectedness of social, economic, and environmental factors. Functionalism. Functionalism examines how social institutions such as government, businesses, and NGOs contribute to or mitigate climate change. It highlights the role of these institutions in shaping policies, developing technologies, and promoting sustainable practices. This perspective emphasizes the importance of collective action, policy interventions, and social responsibility in addressing climate change. Social constructionism. Social constructionism emphasizes how society beliefs, values, and Discourses influence our understanding of climate change. This perspective highlights the role of media, education, and cultural norms in shaping public opinion and influencing policy decisions. It recognizes that addressing climate change requires a fundamental shift in societal values and a commitment to sustainability. How climate change impact people? Health impact. Climate change exacerbates health risks, particularly for vulnerable populations. Example, increased respiratory and cardiovascular diseases due to air pollution, heat-related illness, and spread of infectious diseases like malaria and dengue. Economic inequality. Climate change disproportionately affects marginalized communities, exacerbating existing inequalities. Low-income families are more vulnerable to climate disasters and rising food prices, while lack of access to resources limit adaptation strategies. Migration and displacement. Rising sea levels, drought, and extreme weather events force people to relocate, leading to disruption in communities. Coastal populations face displacement due to rising sea level, while drought forces families to migrate in search of water and livelihood. Social impacts. Climate change affects social structures, cultural heritage, and access to resources. Loss of heritage sites due to sea level rises, reduced access to leisure and outdoor activities due to extreme weather events, and disruption to education and employment opportunities. The impact on planet. Melting glaciers and rising sea levels. Rising global temperature cause glaciers to melt at an accelerated rate, contributing to rising sea levels. This poses a significant threat to coastal cities and islands worldwide, displacing populations and disrupting ecosystems. Also, ocean acidification. The absorption of excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into the ocean causes acidification, which harms marine ecosystems. This acidification weakens shells and skeletons of marine organisms, disrupting food chains, impacting biodiversity. Extreme weather events. Climate change increases the frequency and intensity of extreme weathers like hurricanes, drought, and wildfires. These events cause widespread damage, disrupt livelihoods, and pose significant risks to human health and infrastructure. Loss of biodiversity. Climate change disrupts ecosystems, leading to loss of biodiversity and extinction of species. This loss of biodiversity weakens ecosystems, hindering the ability to provide essential services like pollination, food production, and carbon sequestration. Climate change and inequality. Disparities in emissions and impacts. The wealthiest 10% of the global population contribute over half of the global greenhouse gas emissions, while the poorest bear the brunt of climate change's adverse consequences. This disparity underscores the need of environmental justice and equitable solutions to address climate change. Environmental justice. Environmental justice advocates for fair policies and practices that protect vulnerable populations from disproportionate environmental risk and burdens. This includes addressing the disproportionate impact of climate change on marginalized communities, ensuring access to clean water, healthy air, and sustainable resources. Community-led initiatives. Grassroots, environmental movement, and community-led initiatives play a crucial role in addressing climate change. These initiatives often focus on sustainable practices, renewable energy sources, and promoting environmental awareness within their communities. What can we do? Individual actions: reduce waste, conserve energy, support sustainable brands, adopt a plant-based diet, and choose eco-friendly transportation options. Policy changes: advocate for renewable energy subsidies, stricter emission standards, and carbon pricing mechanisms, and policies that prioritize environmental sustainability. Community efforts: join or support local environmental groups, participate in cleanup drives, and raise awareness about the climate change within your community. Global collaboration: support international agreements and initiatives aimed at mitigating climate change, such as the Paris Agreement, and encourage cooperation between nations to address this global challenge. These are the sources that help me with my project, and thank you for listening to my project.